We go to our last pre-final of the 2022 Rotax Max Challenge Euro Golden Trophy, and it is DD2 Masters. Let's have your starting grid, folks. So, ranking off the heat, saw Martin Stankiewicz start from pole position for the pre-final. Alongside him on the front row will be Carl Clebor from Belgium. Christophe Capitain, the 41-year-old from La Norville in France, the 599, will be joined by Germany's Timo Haug on row number 2. Sebastian Humpelhardt and Michael Becker, both from Germany, round out row 3. And it's an all-Dutch row 4 with Dominic Hummels ahead of Christoph Adams, with Mikolas Mazinas and Tanju Yildiz running at the top 10. So after this, we'll have the lunch break, and we'll be back just before 10 past 2 this afternoon to crown our 2022 Rotax Max Challenge Euro Golden Trophy champions, the Mini Junior Senior DD2 and DD2 Masters. As the DD2 Masters, the eldest driver in the field, Christoph Adams, 57 years old. The youngest in this class is the driver on pole position, Martin Stankiewicz. Lights go out, and a clear break of formation there from Sebastian Humpelhardt, I saw. Just before the lights went out, I believe. Timo Haug in second, because Martin Stankiewicz got overtaken by Carl Clebor, who now has gotten a little bit of an initial advantage. Leads the way, as Mikolas Mazinas has been passed by Christoph Adams. So Carl Clebor leads the field into turn 9. And all 10 DD2 Masters drivers on the same stretch of tarmac. Christoph Adams goes defensive going into turn 10. Carl Clebor leading the way. Timo Haug holding on to second ahead of Martin Stankiewicz. Top 3, top 4, rounded out by Michael Becker. But Carl Clebor did take a little bit of an advantage. He was nearly 2.5 tenths of a second up the road from Timo Haug. And that is now less than a tenth. Haug goes for the lead into turns 1 and 2. Carl Clebor keeps it pinned to the outside and retains the racing line for turn 2. Martin Stankiewicz is closing in on them. Michael Becker was just under 8 tenths behind the race leader. So we're now on to lap number 3. Top 3 last time were covered by less than 4 tenths of a second. Could be a little bit closer this time as they come out of turn number 12 and complete their 3rd lap of racing. Clebor still hanging on. There's a little bit of a gap emerging between Timo Haug and Martina Stankiewicz. Stankiewicz starting to close in on the 5.75 from Germany. Gap still 4/10 or less than 4/10 between the top three. Michael Becker might have an opportunity to close in the way things are going, as we have completed the first 4 out of 14 minutes. And we'll add an initial cherry on top, the last lap. So Clervaux still leading. Becker is starting to close. I have spotted Sebastian Rumpelhart is closing in as well. The 5.07, 41 years of age from Grossbeeren. But Clervaux has been leading the way the minute he took the lead. Away from Martina Stankiewicz early doors, but Timo Haug starting to put the pressure down on him. Stankiewicz just waiting in the wings. Don't get confused with the name on the race suit that Karl Clervaux is sporting. It's Timo Haug still trying to keep with, and things are closing up because behind Sebastian Rumpelhart is Mikolas Mazinis from Lithuania. Krzysztof Kapitan now down in 7th position. He started P3 behind pole sitter Martina Stankiewicz as we head into the final 8.5 minutes or so, plus an additional lap of this race. So the entire field from 1st to 10th after 6 laps of racing, covered by just shy of 10 seconds. As 6 minutes have now officially been completed here today in the DD2 Masters pre-final. The winner will get a full season entry to the Euro Trophy next year. Second will get a full season entry for the B&L Karting Series. And the third placed driver will get an entry of their choice to one round of the Euro Trophy Canada next season. And the gap between the top 4 is less than 6/10, so Michael Becker is the one with the ringside seat. Behind Martina Stankiewicz, Sebastian Rumpelhart being hustled along by Mikolas Mazinas as they make their way through into turn number 6. Top 6 positions covered by just over 1.3 seconds. Michael Becker looks up the inside of Martina Stankiewicz through turn 7 and gets through on the Lithuanian to take 3rd place. So 6.5 minutes remain on the counter. Michael Becker now up into 3rd place behind Timo Haug with Karl Clervaux still leading. We're on to lap number 9 of this race. And the man known simply as the Barker, actually away from the circuit when he's not on the racetrack. I was in the SP Motorsport awning earlier on this weekend, and Carl was busy sorting out all the delivery orders. Of course, we're not too far away from the Christmas and New Year period. So for bakeries, it's a very, very busy time. And whenever I see him, he's either got his phone in his hand or he's looking at his laptop. So very, very busy man away from the track. Now we've got a great battle emerging between 4th, 5th and 6th. And I thought that might be the case. It's just been confirmed. Sebastian Humpelhart, 5-second time penalty for a clear breakaway of the formation before the red lights went out. That has been confirmed by race control. So that would probably more than likely, if things still stay as they are, that will bump Humpelhart down to 9th position ahead of Daniel Yildiz. And also, right, Carl Clebor has been deemed to have done a jump start. So a 5-second time penalty for him. So that effectively means that Timo Haug and Michael Becker will effectively be racing for the de facto lead of this race. Sebastian Humpelhart on the road gets past Martinas Stankiewicz. And so now does Mikolas Mazinas. Stankiewicz tries for the undercut, gets alongside his countryman and looks to put it through up the inside of turn 1, which happens. There's now Timo Haug. I think, well, I'm just seeing that Carl Clebor has managed to get a little bit further away. So he will have, if it's been indicated on the digital flag, he will have seen that he's got a 5-second jump start penalty. So there's still 4 minutes and 20 to go. And if 3 behind him keep on battling, that is going to allow Carl Clebor to pull away into the distance. Michael Becker makes a little bit of an error going through into turn 10, nearly opens the door for Sebastian Humpelhart, but the 5:07 unable to get through. So Clebor, what's his lead now? 0.6 of a second. He needs to be putting in some considerably quicker lap times. Christoph Adams has just put in his personal best. He's currently sitting in 9th place with a 54.982 for the 555 on that occasion. Mikolas Mazinas and Martinas Stankiewicz getting very, very close indeed, but Stankiewicz has the inside line for turn number 7, and he gets through. Retakes the position off of Mazinas in the 585, running on the Praga chassis. And Praga will be, IPK Praga will be supplying, they're the official chassis partners for DD2 Masters and also Minimax. Three minutes to go. Carl Clebor's lead still stands at around about just under 7/10 of a second. As Timo Haug is in second, Sebastian Humpelhart in third, Michael Becker fourth, Martinas Stankiewicz and Mikolas Mazinas battling over 5th place with Christoph Capitan, Dominic Hummels, and Mazinas again dive bombs up the inside. This time he gets the job done and he signals to Martinas Stankiewicz, right, let's go. They've got Christoph Capitan behind them now in the 599. Two and a quarter minutes remain on the clock. At the moment, Carl Clebor on the road is leading. His gap between him and Timo Haug is now gone down to just under half a second. Sebastian Humpelhart hit with a 5-second time penalty for all 4 wheels out of the tram lines, ahead of Michael Becker. Mikolas Mazinas, about 2.3 seconds behind the race leader. As Martinas Stankiewicz having to defend sternly in front of Christoph Capitan from France in the 599. Christoph Adams has got past Dominic Hummels for 8th place. So the top 9 drivers covered by 5 seconds. So with the way things would be, there is Daniel Yildiz running his own race. Now he's about the best part of nearly half a lap behind However, he's still circulating, which is always good to see whenever I have a chat with Tony Yildiz. Haven't had much of a chance to chat with him this weekend. It's been a busy one up here in the commentary position since Friday evening and afternoon. But we're going to go on to the penultimate lap. Lap 15 about to be completed, with Karl Klibor on the road leading the way. Ahead of Timo Haug, Sebastian Humpelhardt. In third, Michael Becker, Mikolas Mazinis, Martinas Stankiewicz, rounding out the top 6. With Christoph Adams nearly 5 seconds behind the race leader. Tony Yildiz comes out of the final corner to complete another lap. The timer has expired. Sebastian Humpelhardt up the inside of Timo Haug to now take second position. Michael Becker will have this last 4 corners plus an additional lap to get through. And if that does happen, Michael Becker has no technical dramas post-session and no front-fairing penalty imposed. Going on the checks and scrutineering, he would effectively be declared the victor. Now we go on to the final lap. Karl Klibor leads the way, half a second ahead of Sebastian Humpelhardt. And Karl Klibor would be demoted down to 8th position. Sebastian Humpelhardt will actually be behind him in 9th. Well, that would be 7th for Karl Klibor, based on a 5-second time penalty, as he's just under 5.1 seconds ahead of Christoph Adams. And Sebastian Humpelhardt would be placed behind, well, would be placed ahead of Dominik Hummels. So 2 more corners. Out of turn 11 comes Karl Klibor. He's going to win on the road, but he's going to get a post-race penalty. So will be Sebastian Humpelhardt. So effectively, that makes the de facto winner Timo Haug from Germany in the 575. Klibor on the road takes the win. On the road, Sebastian Humpelhardt takes second. Timo Haug in third will effectively be promoted to the race victor. Michael Becker in 4th. There you see a couple of the changes. So the 506 of Karl Klibor demoted, not taking the race victory. And Timo Haug now confirmed as the provisional race winner by nearly 0.3 of a second ahead of Michael Becker. That means that Karl Klibor and Sebastian Humpelhardt cannot put a foot wrong in the next race, which is the big one, the final. So let's have a look at the results here for the DD2 Masters. Timo Haug declared as the provisional race winner by under 0.3 of a second ahead of Michael Becker. Mikolas Mazinis and Martinas Stankiewicz take 3rd and 4th. Christophe Capitan finishes 5th ahead of Karl Klibor. Christoph Adams 7th ahead of Sebastian Humpelhardt, who was pinged for all 4 wheels out of the tram lines. Dominik Hummels' front bumper looks like it might be slightly dragging frontwards. They will have to check that. But Tanya Yildiz bringing up the rear of the field, and that concludes the racing action. But we're going to have a look back at what happened. So the drivers making themselves ready to get underway with their pre-final. And there is the clear breaker formation. Before the lights have even gone out, Sebastian Humpelhardt, all 4 wheels out of the tram lines, and he was the first one to pick up a time penalty. The second one would be Karl Klibor, who later on would be declared to have had jumped the start. Karl Klibor was leading the way on the road before that penalty was confirmed. Martinas Stankiewicz not able to compete with Karl Klibor and Timo Haug. Michael Becker put this nice little move up the inside of the 533 from Lithuania through turn 7. And there in the background were a few other drivers. There's Sebastian Humpelhardt making the same move as Michael Becker with Mikolas Mazinas, the Lithuanian countryman of Martinas Stankiewicz. Here is Timo Haug going up the inside of Michael Becker for position on the road. That would be for second at that point, with the likes of Humpelhardt, Stankiewicz, and Mazinas. Mazinas would get a move up the inside. First of all, there's Tanya Yildiz not competing with the rest of them, but running his own race and having a lot of fun at the same time. Timo Haug would then come under severe pressure as this late braking opportunity meant that Sebastian Rumpelhart went through to take second place, which would eventually be down into 8th come the finish. Karl Klebor won on the road, but Timo Haug declared the provisional pre-final winner here in DD2 Masters.